And now, the best 60-ish seconds of your week. First off, please subscribe, like, share, whatever else you do on social media, the best 60 seconds of your week, because we'd like to grow our market. And several of you have called, written about the best 60 seconds of your week, and I try to pay attention. Somebody asked why I had failed to mention the celebration of the Queen of England's coronation anniversary. So yes, on June the 2nd, a couple of weeks ago, she celebrated that blessed event. You know, I've lived through 13 presidents, 7 popes, 13 governors, but only one queen, the longest reigning monarch on earth and the longest reigning monarch in British history. And my Irish business partner, Kevin Harley, wants to know, why the hell are we focusing on the Queen of England? I'll leave that for you to decide, because I'm getting back to good old American politics. And the Democrats going before the Poor People's Moral Action Congress last week and falling all over themselves, trying to come up with solutions to poverty that sounded like guaranteed annual incomes, free this, free that, free college, free health care, and reparations, a really nutty idea that's now being bandied about again after a 50-year hiatus of real discussion. But what was sad about it was that there really was no focus on JOBS. You know, Ronald Reagan once said that the greatest anti-poverty program was a job. That's a simple fundamental truth. And when you run in a different direction, instead of giving people the opportunity to do better for themselves, and instead locking people into a welfare state, really is a very sad commentary, especially that reparation stuff. Watch out for that. Because ultimately, what creates jobs but a thriving economy and a good business environment? And right now, you look at what's happening with the economy. The day that we're taping this, the Standard & Poor's opens at a record high, NASDAQ at 8,000 and going up. The Dow Jones today closed at like 16,700, near record highs. And while I've warned all along that market prices and the stock market itself is not an indicator of the economy in full, it is an indicator of where it's going, because investors put their money where they think the economy is headed. And clearly there are a lot of people thinking it's headed in the right direction. We've now got the G20 looking like there's going to be good news produced out of it on the China deal, huge thing. The Fed's announcement that while they're not cutting rates immediately, a midsummer correction, meaning a rate cut, may be in order. It's very clear to me that Powell is keeping some ammo in reserve, because he doesn't want to preside over an economy that's doing anything other than growing and thriving. So I'll say it flat out. I think the market is going to be at 30,000 before we get to the end of this year. And while it's been very volatile, and I stand to be corrected, I think that the economy is going to be in such good shape going into 2020 that any Democrat is going to have a tough time, but especially those that are espousing socialist philosophy are going to have an incredibly difficult time. And you look at just one situation, Disney, with $20 billion in revenue last year. And that was before Star Wars, the highest stock prices in their history right now. And it's an indication of the inelasticity of demand, because despite the fact that their prices are going up, the demand is going up as well. That's what marks a truly great and thriving economy. Just one little example there for you to think about. And the race for 2020 is on. You know, President Trump this week had his gigantic rally in Orlando, an arena that held 20,000 plus. They couldn't find one any bigger. And they had over 100,000 ticket requests for that event. People camped out days in advance. It was like a big rock concert, for crying out loud. Meanwhile, the Democrats, and look, it happens when the Republicans are out of power too, are traipsing around Iowa and New Hampshire talking to audiences of 75 or 100 and thinking it's a great day. So stay tuned. It's just getting started. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. We've got a lot of other things to talk about too. Facebook introducing its digital currency, Libra, and already an explosion in Congress over that. Something to watch. We'll talk about that a little bit next week. But for now, that is the best 60-ish seconds of your week.